The summer of 1900. While the Boxer Rebellion ignites China, a silent tragedy unfolds among the mountains of southern Shaanxi. It is the story of a man who chose to become Chinese with the Chinese, paying for that choice with his life. This man is Father Alberico Crescitelli. Born in 1863 in Altavilla Irpina, Alberico showed his heroic mettle long before he ever set sail. In 1880, he entered the Pontifical Seminary of the Holy Apostles Peter and Paul in Rome, an institution that, in 1926, would be merged with the Lombard Seminary for Foreign Missions to form PIME. Newly ordained in 1887, he found himself in the midst of a cholera epidemic in his hometown. Instead of fleeing, he stayed. He tended to the sick and the dying, ignoring the risk of contagion. It was his first test. Charity had triumphed over fear. In 1888, he departed to announce the gospel in China, in Hanzhong, southern Shaanxi. Arriving after an exhausting journey, Alberico did not seek to conquer, he sought to serve. He learned the language, dressed in local attire, and studied the natural world, sending precious scientific observations back to Italy. But his heart beat for the marginalized. In a rural China marked by poverty, Alberico suffered at the sight of young girls abandoned by their destitute families. He used every penny of his savings to save and nourish them, writing home, "My desire is that my small nest egg be used to gather and educate abandoned children." 1900. Alberico was sent to Yangtze-Bian, a remote area struck by famine. The local elites, corrupt and powerful, sought to exclude Christians from the government's food distribution. Alberico demanded justice. He ensured that even the poor converts received their ration of rice. It was his death warrant. The local power holders took advantage of the imperial decree against foreigners to incite the crowds. It wasn't patriotism, it was revenge. On the evening of July 21st, Alberico was betrayed and handed over to an armed mob. What followed was, in the words of Pope Pius XII, one of the most harrowing martyrdoms history remembers. Beaten with swords and clubs, wounded in the face, dragged like an animal toward the river. They burned his flesh with lit candles while he was still alive. Yet, throughout that ordeal, not a single curse escaped his lips. With a faint voice, he prayed. Turning to a passerby, he said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." He was beheaded on the riverbank, and his body was thrown into the current to erase every trace of his existence. He was only 37 years old. They wanted